So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. A little on the update with the Cabo stars and the boats. The seafarers, represented by the SWWTU trade union, staged a protest at the Trinidad and Tobago ferry terminal on Tuesday, accusing the government of sidelining qualified local workers. This came after former workers of the Cabo Star are calling for equity, as they say the MV Blue Water Harmony vessel is currently being operated by foreigners. Anthony Alexis of the SWWTU said the union was neither informed nor consulted ahead of the transition. Just under 30 workers are affected. Listen to this.
The workers are here today because they're being treated unkindly. Injustice has been taking place. Before we had a lot of workers working on the Cargo Star, and now this vessel come to replace the Cargo Star. They bring foreigners to carry out the duties where our locals supposed to be doing. Our locals are properly qualified. They have worked internationally. They work on all different vessels, and we was not informed. We find we have been totally disrespected.
So Trinidad and Tobago workers fighting for their rights is something I would stand by. Why do we have foreigners working on that particular boat when we have qualified workers right here in Trinidad to work on the very same boat? Why? Blue Water Harmony. What is it doing different that these workers and them don't know? Or train the workers and them in something new. That is all. Put them on the boat. They are accustomed with the boat life. There are custom working on the boat between Trinidad and Tobago. Put them on the boat, show them X, Y, and Z with a supervisor maybe for a month or two, and let the boat workers work. This is madness, Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine they sidelining qualified local workers. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? And then we speak out, when we speak out now for the rights, they want to tell us we are wrong. How are we wrong? You gonna tell me you sideline 30 workers? 30 workers to bring in 30 foreigners? No, that's madness. That is madness. That's craziness. Why? Trinidad and Tobago. Current affairs segment. This is what we have for you. Has already approved the establishment of the World Bank Group's permanent office in Port of Spain. This was confirmed by Minister of Planning, Economic Affairs and Development, Dr. Kennedy Saratan Singh, who said this move will unlock major financing for TNT's private sector. Speaking at a press conference at the University of the West Indies, he revealed that the World Bank has already selected office space and has begun mobilizing personnel. Listen to this.
And they have already selected an office space. They have staff already looking to move down. So we're moving very, very assiduously to bring those supports required to be able to give the jolt. Because whether we like it or not, we will not get foreign revenues coming out of the energy sector anytime soon. That will give us the type of... So we need that kind of injection coming in.
So now Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this, This sounds interesting. He said, the government has asked the World Bank to structure a multi-billion-dollar investment pipeline for local business, especially to export-oriented sectors. Listen.
It's finally established in Port of Spain. Their mandate is to create, through the IFC and MEGA and other agencies, is to create that funding available for local businesses to inject, and that would be, and we have asked them to set up that funding between $1 and $3 billion US. So that's what this government has been working very, very hard. The Attorney General is in the process of vetting those agreements.
So viewers, what is interesting is that the minister also claimed that the institution had been trying to establish a presence in Trinidad and Tobago for nearly a decade, but has faced with obstruction from the former government. Now, ask yourself this. Why did the World Bank face obstruction from a former government in Trinidad and Tobago? Why? Why was the red tape? Why they didn't set up here a decade ago? Was it because of high favors? Was it because of they don't want the World Bank to know who is being favored in Trinidad and Tobago? Was it because they don't want the World Bank to see where money is going and who is collecting it? But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, hopefully under this administration, the World Bank is going to set up an office here, and we're going to get something successful and prosperous for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, staying on this, Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Kennedy Saratan Singh, is refuting claims that the Trinidad and Tobago was heading towards the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, intervention, insisting that recent engagement was nothing more than fund's standard annual review. The minister emphasized that the IMF was not in the country as a leader or as a lender of last resort, but rather as part of a long-standing Article surveillance process applied to all member states.
Visits a number of countries to do what is called an article for consultation, which we just concluded in Trinidad and Tobago. And that is a standard thing that they do across the globe annually to get a sense as to what the government is doing, what direction that we are going in, ask some questions, get some data, and then they'll publish a report. That is what has been concluded.
Now, viewers, he argued that while the IMF's recommendation would be taken seriously, policies, choice would remain grounded in the government's social obligation rather than narrow accounting formulas.
The IMF will put out its report eventually, and its report may have a number of recommendations. Some we may choose to follow, some we may choose to ignore. But obviously, there's a difference between, and that's, if you think in terms of how businesses operate and how governments operate, it's two entirely different things, different ways of operating. We have to think about, we have a social responsibility. So some things that may not make business sense, but is required for a social framework and support. Businesses, for example, don't provide the type of social umbrella that we as a government have to provide.
On Monday, the IMF staff team led its concluding meeting with Finance Minister Devendra Tanku, following their 2 weeks official visit under the 2026 article consultation. So Trinidad and Tobago, we are glad to have them here. Their meetings is over. Let's hope that we benefit from them in a big way. Yeah, we need that. Moving along, the Civil Division Bill 2026 was unanimously passed in the Senate on Tuesday. According to Attorney General John Jeremy, the bill will restructure how civil matters are managed by establishing a civil division, a small claim court, and an estate administration office. Struggling families who long awaited to settle property and probate matter may finally be able to do so. Now, a probate has gone for years, viewers. Years, Now, the bill is not new, as the opposition was quick to accuse government of reintroducing the same bill it previously rejected when it was under the former administration. Listen to this.
It is an exact replica, clause for clause, word for word, of the bill which we laid in the House of Representatives and which we debated on the 20th of September 2024. The opposition, now the government, vehemently opposed that law and said, as a matter of fact, in the vote when it was taken, that they would not support the divisions of court.
Probably they had a change of heart. They had a change of heart. Just as they have a change of heart to the citizen when they told the citizen that the PNM administration is taxing the country to debt. We are taxing the citizens to debt. Fines are killing them. The merit point, they're banning their license, they can't work. So they had a change of heart, Mr. Harawi, and they decided to reintroduce something new. But I'll tell you this. A probate and property matter goes on for years upon years upon years in the courts of Trinidad and Tobago. When somebody dies, let me tell you something, the amount of drama the family have to go through, or the children, or the widowed wife, it's problems, real problems. So if this bill comes into effect and property and probate, I think, could be able to be settled within 3 to 6 months, it will be good. It will be nice, because sometimes people buy a car, you buy a house from a man, boom shot, within the 3 months now of doing over everything now, the man come and die, you can't do nothing, vehicle can't transfer, house cannot divide, money cannot split. And that is one sit back and all right in our country. So within 3 months or 6 months, if this bill could be effective, let me tell you something, a lot of people would be happy. A lot of people would be happy. Trinidad and Tobago, you would tell me, if my father dead, or my wife died, you would tell me that it'll take 5 years to do a probate, by the time that the car rotten, by the time that the bank sees the house, by the time that the grandchildren could die. You never know what could happen. And this is sometimes a simple little thing, you know, that goes on for years. The man have 2 sons, he have a wife, he have nothing outside, he have all the money in the bank. Why is it that the children and the widow wife have to wait 5 years to share everything? Why? It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. They have all the money in the bank, they have to wait till the probate finish to get the little money in the bank. That is madness. It's really madness. But, as I say, if a property matter could be settled within 3 to 6 months, according to this civil division bill, let me tell you something. A lot of people, a lot of widow wives and husband whose wife have died, it's going to be nice. Viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, Senate approves HUC Caura housing. More when we return.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
Just a little update, viewers. The new fixed penalty fine, the updated version, have been released in the public domain, probably the last hour or so. The second half of our program, we'll talk about it a little bit. Some of the new fines, some of the penalties. If you don't pay it in time, fines will double to 50% more. In the second half of our program, we will go through some of the details. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, the Senate has approved a motion to facilitate a legal the legal acquisition of land in Caura, where 100 townhouse has already been constructed, clearing the way for Housing Development Corporation, AGC, to begin their process of distributing the unit. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this, the AGC built 100 houses. But you know what? They didn't own the land when they built those houses. It's sad, eh? Could you imagine what took place there? Who collect money and who didn't collect money? Who turned their head and who operated like they didn't have a tongue in their mouth? During Tuesday's Senate, Legal Affairs Minister Saddam Hussein clarified that although the AGC constructed 100 townhouses in Caura, the corporation does not legally own the land. Madness! I'll listen to this.
HDC, Mr. President, is ready for the distribution process. But they cannot, as I said, process the deeds of lease because there is no root title. The HDC does not own the lands, notwithstanding that they have built upon the lands. Mr. President, the owner of the land is no secret. According to the notice that was published, the lands now formally belong to TMV Limited. These were assets that were acquired through the CL Financial matters, Mr. President.
So who collected, who didn't collect it, who had to turn their head and collect, who tongue couldn't speak and collect? Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. Imagine the HGC. You built 100 houses to distribute, but the land was never all your one. How do you call that? Was that a corrupt move? I don't know, I'm asking. So the agency building houses on land that does not belong to them. And if I could go by the red house, in the back of the red house and put on a concrete structure, that on my land. So if the agency could build house on land that doesn't belong to them, I could go and get a piece of land somewhere and pop a house then. And it happened under the last administration. How wonderful. I know who get hush mouth money. But nevertheless, this situation stems from a failure of the Commissioner of State Land to assume possession of the Caura Townhouse development within the required 6 months time frame. This prompted the need for a new order to allow the ministry to formally take possession of the land. He urged senators to support the motion, stressing that without legal title, the housing unit cannot be distributed. So Trinidad and Tobago, the former administration fully well knows this. They were aware of this. And yet they build houses that they cannot distribute it. So that's what I said just now. Who collected hush money? Who collected hush money? Hush money meaning if you see something, don't say nothing. What I give you, you put in your pocket and you turn your head. And the last administration knew this. But you know what? You want to know something, Trinidad and Tobago? Was your taxpayers' money building that there. And you could even inherit it. And? But great is the P&M. All I didn't know, so now you know. So if you have no greatness again, your taxpayers' money was being filtered out of the system. Look at the condition of the road today. Look at it. Look at the condition of schools today. It's saddened. But great is the P&M that you didn't know what was taking place of. But nevertheless, in the coming months, you will know more. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this video.
And those units at this particular site cannot be distributed, notwithstanding I'm told that there was a hurried allocation process prior to the general election. The deeds of leases cannot be issued simply because the state does not have title for the lands.
Opposition Senator Vishnu Danpal also supported the motion, noting the importance of asset recovery in the wake of the multi-billion-dollar CL financial bailout. Well, first time I hear Danpal talking about something good. Listen to Danpal.
Since the state already owns approximately 30% of HCL through CL Financial. CL Financial is in liquidation with court-appointed liquidators, Grant Thornton. Mr. President, the court in Trinidad and Tobago must approve the sale of each asset by the liquidator. In other words, there can be no fire sale, as been mentioned and bandied about. Mr. President, it is common knowledge that the CL Financial bailout cost the taxpayers of this country $25 billion plus.
But the pay them spend that with no accountability. No accountability. Stringers. MP for Oruka Lopino, Marvin Gonzalez, have described the Homeland Security Minister justification against the removal of an independent body which investigate police misconduct as misleading. On Sunday, Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander said he does not agree with the Police Complaint Authority having the legislative authority to discipline police officers. So let me stick up and ride it. Why Alexander doesn't support this? Why does not he support this? We have seen in the past corrupt officers. Officers transporting marijuana, cocaine, illegal firearm. Officers abusing their power. And who do we have investigating these officers? Another corrupt officer? So Alexander wants to take the authority from the Police Complaint Authority. What do you think about that, Trinidad and Tobago? Alexander was once before the court. And I believe it was the same PCA. He was up against them. So who is going to correct the officers on them? Another crooked officer? He said, police should be trusted as the primary investigator of officers' misconduct rather than independent body. However, Gonzalez strongly disagree. Even myself disagree with it. Imagine we have two officers, a senior corrupted officer and a junior corrupted officer. And the senior corrupted officer have to investigate now the junior corrupted officer. Who's right and who's wrong? Ask Alexander. Alexander was before the PC at one point in time in the court. Maybe he didn't like how they operated, but at the end of the day, if you're wrong, you're wrong. Listen to this video.
The Police Complaints Authority exists to protect citizens and police officers alike. It is an independent body charged with the legal power to investigate serious allegations of police misconduct. Where there is evidence of criminal behavior, it can refer matters to an independent director of public prosecutions. Where there is evidence of disciplinary breaches, it can make the appropriate recommendation to the police commissioner. Independence is the point. Without independence, there is conflict of interest.
So now viewers, speaking on Tuesday in a social media post, he said, words became policy, and policy affects freedom. As a PCA has been part of our legal framework since 1995, which he said is responsible governance. He accused the minister of contradicting his oath to office. Listen to this one more time.
Calling for the dismantling of an independent oversight body
is a direct contradiction of that oath. It is not reform, it is regression. And this did not happen in isolation. This is the same minister who called for a ban on the release of videos on CCTV footage involving police shootings. The same minister who called for laws to regulate bloggers and influencers critical of his government.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, when Alexander was before the court, was videos and evidence, you know. Yes. Was videos and CCTV footage that caught him. So now he's in a position that he wants now to muzzle these things. Saddened? Really, really sad. So I'm asking this question now. What if let's say Bandit now decide to go after the minister's house or the minister's family or voice some sort of threat to them, and the neighbors has now footage, and those footage could be able to be held up in court to convict the individual. What's going to happen there? What's going to happen there? Now, Alexander now would be dependent on the CCTV footage. You know why, Your Honor? I have evidence. What evidence you have, Mr. Alexander? We have CCTV footage. Whose footage? The neighbor. You see how they said do so and like so? He was caught up with it. Joshua Samaru got gunned down by police. The entire world saw the footage on social media. But what he wants to give the police officers and them? Counseling. I wonder if he intend to give those officers counseling for the rest of their natural life in TTPS. Who want to pay for the counseling? Taxpayers. Who paying Alexander salary? Taxpayers. Who is maintaining the vehicle that the government gave him? Taxpayers. Call a good night.
Night. Mr. Saieed, Alexander himself, like a fire, if the crime happened in his home, then he gonna know what's going on. It has happened in his home. Of course, that's why he home. Then he gonna know how to turn the country. Thank you, Mr. Saieed.
Thank you, my friend. You see, Trinidad and Tobago, Alexander may not have been a victim of crime. He may not have been a victim of crime. But I have. My son was almost kidnapped. So I know what it feels like for a mother, for a father, for a grandmother, for a grandfather, for a brother, for a sister. I know what it feels like to be a victim. And I know the distance one would go to fix the problem. Trust me. I went great distance in the spirit world to fix my problem. 3 blind, 1 dead. And it fixed. It fixed. So sometimes ministers have to take out the shoes they're wearing and walk on the ground. Put your foot on the ground and put yourself in somebody else's position. If that was me, what would I do? What would I do? So, I want to ask Alexander and TTPS officers, or you all have seen the footage where Joshua was gunned down. If that was your son, what would you have done? You being the police officer you are. What you would have done. reports coming out is that the girlfriend of Joshua is in the hospital and is on a police guard. Like she do something real drastic. It's sad. At one point in time, even the mother was barred from seeing her own daughter. It's sad, you know. So I wonder if that same policeman now, who barring the mother from going to see her daughter, if his daughter ended up in a situation like that, what would have happened? You see, sometimes you have to put yourself in other people's shoes in order to know what they're going through. I could have been a police. I could have been a minister. I could have been a judge. I could have been a lawyer. I could have. I have the knowledge. I have the brains. But my field, my calling was different. One of my callings is to come here to educate you all about the do's and the don'ts. Tobago, Gonzalez also pressed on the silence of the Prime Minister and the Attorney General on this matter, which he said is deafening. Listen to this.
That silence tells us, the country, that Roger Alexander is speaking for this government. Citizens, these are dangerous times. Democracies do not collapse overnight. They erode slowly. This is not about politics. This is about constitutional guardrails. My duty as a member of parliament is to speak for you and to hold this government to account. Your duty as citizens is to speak up. Use your voice.
So viewers, we're going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, recording of police officers. Let me tell you something. I'm going to educate you on this when we return.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to Real Talk Financing and Investment, a place where your loans are guaranteed and you're rewarded with up to 5% upfront interest on your deposit. Why wait when you can invest with us today and reap the benefits? Speak with a representative at our central branch at 238-6716, 231-6219, or 339-1670, or our south branch at 242-9944, 241-0543, or 339-1670. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Investment company just for you. For you. For you. For you.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So viewers, police, or the Director of Police and Community at the Ministry of Homeland Security, Saieed Ali, have stated that citizens who want to record the police should do so carefully. Speaking at an interview, Ali said the judgment of Justice Frank C. Passad encouraged citizens to record police officer must be taken into context. Ali noted obstructing a police officer is anything that can cause the officer to abandon the duty they were doing to attend to someone who may be recording them at the time. He added that many recording police officers must be aware that their presence can be hindrance. Listen to this.
While you have the option to record, it must be exercised responsibly in these circumstances. And hence why I'm saying to you that had the intervention not been made, you may have found that every citizen coming into contact with the police pulls out a phone, and in some instances it could have created some situations.
So Trinidad and Tobago, listen this. Listen this. You want to record a police officer? Not a problem. Stay opposite the officer. It's simple. If the officer doing something on the left side, you go on the right side of the road. Go on the right side of the road. So when you hear the officer coming towards you now, that officer better have a reason. I'll tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. You see all this thing? You see all this thing that is happening now with recording and device on your windscreen that Zachary said? All of this is taking place because of the killing of Joshua Samaru. All this whole bacchanal thing. Before it wasn't a problem. It was not a problem. Alexander never had a problem with that. Never had a problem with that being a police officer. If you see something, say something. Yeah? If you have footage, release it. He never had a problem. But when he reached hot water, after seeing the video, it caused him now to stir up something different. I had to protect my police officers. Them same police officers and them put Alexander on the spot and the whole nation against him. Why? Because of a few officers. So do we hear Trinidad and Tobago blaming the officers? No. It's because of what Alexander said and where those officers have him, that is why he liked the city. It's not what you didn't do, it's what you do. And that's the problem. Because of those officers, Alexander is in this position today. Yeah. That is why when Gary Griffith was Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith understood that police could get him in trouble. Imagine you're a police officer and you don't want to take a lie detector test. Who you protecting? Tell me. Who you protecting? Gary understood leadership. Alexander understood order. Why? Because he had to take order. Now that you're in a position to give an order, you don't know how to give it. Because you're confused with leadership and being a foot soldier. Sad. It's sad. That is why they are coming against him very hard. Those same officers have Alexander in a hot spot now. A hot spot back against a wall. You see, when he was a police officer, you could have lead the police. But now you're representing the police and the citizen. You're back jam against a wall. You have no idea what to do. And that is the difference. That is the difference. Now, footage. Alexander wants to bring legislation to stop individuals from sharing footage of police on social media. And that's the same men and them who say, if you see something, say something. We have to get back the trust of the people in order for us to solve crime. We need the citizen. All of us all I want to muzzle the citizen now. The very same citizen all you need. You know what countries officers might be watching Trinidad and Tobago and laughing at us. Now, Zachar, in your vehicle, dashboard cam, your phone on the windscreen, videotaping going on the road, all of a sudden Zachar have a problem with that. Why? Because of the footage that was damning police. So you know what? Alexander come to me, we talk, and I go against the citizen now. If you no dashboard cam, no mounted device on your windscreen to tape where you're going forward, who working hand in hand? Homeland Security Minister and Zachar. Why? No CCTV footage, no dash cam, no mounted camera on your windscreen, no footage. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. You see, Zachar Saieed, who he once said, the media personnel, all you feel we stupid. You all feel Saieed dotish. Let me tell you something. I ain't just talking English, you know. It's 6 different languages I just talk, you know. Arabic, Urdu, Sanskrit, Hebrew, Greek, and English. It's 6 different languages I just talk, not just English. So if all I feel like is one duncy head, take, you know what it is how I saying, don't take God out of your thought, take that stupid thinking out your head. Take that stupid thinking out your head. Because the 2 ministry is in one collaboration, no video footage. No video footage. And other countries now looking at we ministers, but how them could be so dumb? They're asking all you, telling all you, how these ministers could be so dumb? All over the world, they're using CCTV footage, dashboard cam footage, mounted device on your windscreen footage as evidence. It's only in Trinidad they want to ban it. Why? All have something to hide? All you have something to hide? Kamala Prasad Bisasa, the Prime Minister for Trinidad and Tobago, have some ministers that is embarrassing to her. We thought the PNM was bad. Dr. Rowley had a Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines, embarrassed Dr. Rowley all over the world. All over the world. You know why? It is not my job to make sure Tobago feel safe. But Dr. Rowley couldn't say nothing. He couldn't say nothing. Caura, good night.
Good evening, Saieed.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Why is this Mr. Alexander so against cameras? Evidence. Why? Why is he against it? There's all over the place, all over the world. Those evidence have saved innocent people.
Correct.
From being killed. Why is he so against? And he's so angry and vicious in his tone. Why does he want it? He doesn't want people to see what the corruption of the police station is. In Canada here right now, just last week they arrested about 8 of them. 1 retired. A retired police officer and his son, with some others, burning down 2 trucks, have a lot of crime and criminality going on. But at least in these places there's proper investigation where they can get to the folk. Because I don't understand why is he so against the evidence? Why is he so against it? And then he's sounding so angry. Like, who is he against the people? You know? It's just ridiculous. They need to overhaul this whole system, and the Prime Minister needs to reshuffle. He needs a different job. Have a good evening.
Thank you, my friend. So Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this statement now. Ali said distance is a factor in whether a member of the public is obstructing an officer or not. Listen to this.
My respect of your distance will be impacted by the nature of your crime that we are dealing with. So you may have a situation where if I say 5 feet, a murder in itself, in terms of how it may have occurred, maybe an entire community can be cordoned off, which you can call the crime scene because persons are coming and leaving. You may have the dead body at this point, but the vehicle that was used may be 10 feet away. So this crime will determine, or the investigation will determine, what constitutes a crime scene.
So this is why I said to you on my live program, if you want to tape an officer, if he on the left side, you go on the right side. If you are 5 feet away from him, go back 10 feet and start your recording. I'm telling you. Now, Ali represents TDPS. I understand he has to defend TDPS. I understand that. So I wouldn't go against that. He have to protect them. I understand that. But what you're saying and doing, those same officers who you trying to protect could put you in a hot spot. Why am I saying how them putting me in a hot spot? Listen to this. The officers that were in the Joshua Samaru shootout, they have been taken off the field. They're probably on a desk. Good? Them on a desk doing their daily job. Who in the hot water now? The Commissioner and Alexander. Yeah? The whole world now is watching Roger Alexander, Homeland Security Minister, and the Commissioner of Police, Guevara, looking at these individuals to hear and see what they have to say. So while the officers on the desk, out at the field, on a desk, Samaru dead, wife in hospital and a police guard. Who in the frontline burner? Who on the hotspot? Who on the boiling water? The Commissioner and Alexander. All they had to do was do the correct thing. All they had to do was make the correct statement. We are investigating the matter. We will review footage and come back to you as soon as we come up with a plan. Simple. Simple, simple, simple. You don't rush to talk. Why you don't rush to talk? Because you are in a position now that the world is looking down at you. The world is listening to you. The world is looking at you. Now collaboration take place. Homeland Security Minister against CC footage and video footage. What up next? Here comes Eli. Well, you know, the mounted phone you have on your windscreen may be causing a problem, but there had to be one dummy. All over the world they're using it. Insurance using it to see whether it's right or wrong. All over the world they're getting footage, going to court and using as evidence. Only in Trinidad now they want to muzzle we. That is why I say other countries' ministers looking at we ministers as how dumb them could be, boy. We third world, so we dumb and we dotish. We stupid and we pagal. This real talk, you know. You can't get a better justification than this. We dumb and we pagal, even though we educated. That is why it is always saying, you know, I don't want nobody add on this program, you know. You know why? Say, you shouldn't say this and you shouldn't say that. I will come back for my money. In the first place, don't come and ask me. Don't come and ask me. Me no beggar. Because when I come here, I want to tell the people the truth. I want to show them definition. I want to show them adjustment. I want to show them how to do it the correct way. I'm going to tell you something. If 1 million people hate me, I don't have a problem with that, you know. You know why? At least the next 400,000 would stand up for what is right. So now Alexander in a hotspot, the Commissioner of Police in a hotspot, and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. Eli now embarrassing himself now by starting to say now, you know, your device on the windscreen may cause a problem. So I want to ask Eli something. We have a big revenue mirror in the center of the vehicle down on the windscreen. Eli, that is a humbug. You know what is our next humbug, Eli? When you're watching forward now, we had to turn we head to see the mirror on the door to see what coming in the back of we. That's a problem now, Eli. I had to turn my head, so it distracted me, Eli. The mirror on the door distracted me from watching the road. The rear mirror now, it had come down on the windscreen. Eli, it's 2 times bigger than a phone. That's an obstruction. You know why? Because I had to turn my head to see the mirror and then turn it back. Eli, all those signs on the highway and on the byway, I had to take my eyes off the road to read it. There's a problem. Can we be more dumb and stupid? Embarrassment is a serious thing, you know. A very serious thing. Raising ticket fine is not a revenue. You know how we call it? We put in a penalty on citizens to be very observant on the road more now. Let me tell you something. I heard they had less accident. Ticket fine going down from 7,000 to 4,000. Eli, you know what causing that? People are afraid to come out on the road with their vehicles. You know why? Because they will have some dumb police officer and dumb license officer giving them an innocent ticket for nothing. That is why they're afraid to come out with a car. So don't say it have helped Trinidad and Tobago. It has put many people to park up their vehicle. That is where it does. So ticket fine now, you will find from 7,000 tickets a day to 4,000 tickets. Oh, the citizens now are learning. Learning? They park up their vehicle. Common sense. Common sense. You enforce the same laws you had by putting the police and the license officer and the traffic warden. You don't penalize a citizen and expect them to learn. You don't do that. But then again, Trinidad and Tobago, let me just tell you a little. They say knowledge is power. Good? Let me just tell you this. In order for IMF to grant a loan to Trinidad and Tobago, seeing that the deep trouble we're in, you have to increase revenue. You have to cut expenditure. So cutting out corruption, cutting out organization that is involved in corruption, cutting out contracts. You're cutting expenditure. Raising revenue. Ooh, well, there we go. A ticket that was 1,000 going to 2,000. You raise $1,000 right there. You raise revenue. Yeah? I could tell you I'm in accounts. I am running Real Talk Credit Union and Real Talk Financing. We just lend money. We just give out loans. I'm in accounts. So I could tell you, you cut your expenditure, you raise your revenue by different methods of raising what? Funds. So when the IMF sees that now, what we getting? I'll let come Trinidad and Tobago, tell me something. What we getting? We gonna get money borrow. The PNM did it. They use their strategy. But the thing about them now, the last fiscal year, the Auditor General Office is still waiting on documents and receipt for money spent on the Clungenberg Ministry of Finance. But Clungenberg have a problem with stink and dirty in the heliport. He couldn't manage finance, but he have a problem with a party. Stick to where you know. Don't stick to where you know. So David Jonathan, together with a team of workers, cut revenue. You cut revenue here. Trinidad and Tobago, you cut $1 billion here, and you raise $2 billion by increasing ticket fines. So what you do? You have $2 billion. You know why? You cut $1 billion in expense, there's $1 billion saved, and you raise $1 billion in revenue. How you raise it? Ticket is the easiest thing. Ticket is the easiest thing. Because the slightest thing is at $2,000. And that's in Trinidad and Tobago. So you raise $1 billion in ticket, you cut $1 billion in expenditure, that's $2 billion. They don't do not. Wait. You get now a $1 billion bond. Because we had $2 billion. I'll come to Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody else is giving you the kind of information that is given all here. Nobody does that. Only me. Hence the reason why we are the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago. Viewers, it's been a pleasure being here. Some of you will notice I shave out my beard, but nevertheless, it's still Saieed. Trinidad and Tobago run of this program is tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. You having problems, call me at 339-1670 or 2677-3225 to fix any problem. Trinidad and Tobago, another day, another time. Until then, be safe.